Be ready. 5 seconds to go. Start. The most important decision of the conference is the Declaration on World Peace and Cooperation. The nations assembled set out the principles which should govern relations between them and indeed the countries of the world as a whole. These are capable of universal application and are historic in their significance. We in India have in recent months sought to formulate the principles which should govern our relations with other countries and often spoken of them as the five principles. In the Bandung Declaration, we find the full embodiment of these five principles and the addition to them of elaborations which reinforce these principles. We have reason to feel happy that this conference, representative of more than half the population of the world, has declared its adherence to the tenets that should guide their conduct and govern the relations of the nations of the world if world peace and cooperation are to be achieved. The House will remember that when the Panchsheel, as we have called them, emerged, they attracted much attention as well as some opposition from different parts of the world. We have maintained that they contain the essence of the principles of relationship which would promote world peace and cooperation. We have not sought to point to them as though they were divine commandments or as though there was a particular sanctity either about the number or about their formulation. The essence of them is the substance, and this has been embodied in the Bandung Declaration. Some alternatives had been proposed, and some of these even formulated contradictory positions. The final declaration embodies no contradictions. The government of India is in total agreement with the principles set out in the Bandung Declaration and will honor them. They contain nothing that is against the interests of our country or the established principles of our foreign policy. The declaration includes a clause which has a reference to collective defense. The House knows that we are opposed to military pacts, and I have repeatedly stated that these pacts, based upon the idea of balance of power and negotiation from strength and the grouping of nations into rival camps, are not, in our view, a contribution to peace. We maintain that view. The Bandung Declaration, however, relates to self defense in terms of the Charter of the United Nations. The provision of the Charter make it clear about the inherent right of self defense. Honorable Chairman, sir, while participating in this discussion, I am really trembling. It is because I think above myself, I think about others. I talk like that. My state is known for social justice. My government is striving for environmental justice. That is why our coastline is being afforested. I think when he comes to know about it, he would appreciate that these are very important and minute things which I would like to highlight. I now leave it for the rest of the members to share their views. Sir, very importantly, we need stronger guidelines from the ministry because we are afraid many states would suffer more droughts and frequent storms and cyclones would befall in the coming days and sea would encroach into the city where we are living. These are not just statistics. This is not just imagination or hallucination. It is about the lives of our future. Every single thing worth living has disappeared into thin air, and all we can do is this. As I said, a big part of climate action lies in protecting and expanding forest coverage. I just do not want to conclude my speech with a pessimistic note. My concern is the serious effects that it would bring on us. I would like to give a few suggestions. I told you what I do at marriage halls, what I do on flights, and wherever I go. On the way, if I see a tap leaking, I would go and stop that. I will stop my car. Either I will go or ask the person accompanying me to stop that because I know how precious water is. Earlier, water was available at the depth of 40 feet. Now, it has gone down to 800 feet. I request the Honorable Minister to coordinate with all the ministers. He has a very big responsibility. He is not just the cabinet minister holding one portfolio. It involves the future lives of the human beings, future of the nation and the world. Apart from going and participating in global summits, we have to do something. We need to expand forest coverage. Regulations need to be tightened and enforced to ensure forest protection while acquiring land for public projects. To drive climate action, we need to consider climate catastrophes as largely man made. Sir, I leave it to the wisdom of my colleagues and I expect the minister to give a concrete reply. I think I have initiated a very important discussion today in this August House. Let us come up with a concrete solution. Sir, the topic is a very important one and touches everyone across the globe. Today, we are taking up this topic at a time when we have made promises to the world about how we are going to curb the effects of global warming. Climate change has been worrying across time scales for centuries. It has started from individual to a collective effort about the activity of the human beings. We talk about global warming and we talk about climate change at national level or international level or in academic circles. They are used interchangeably, so they can be used either as global warming or climate change. Whatever comes from the sun by way of sunlight and touches the earth, 30% of it goes back because it is sent back by clouds, particles, ground surfaces, and 70% is retained by oceans, land, and air. But the 30% that goes up in the space not only comes back a little slowly, but it stays there and it stays in a concentrated form, and that is casual global warming to the earth. This global warming was taken very seriously, and we had United Nations Framework Convention on climate change, which sets rules.